Scott Durso, another one, had a really, really good question here. He's asking, what was the songwriting process like? You know, for us. And I know we kind of got into that a little bit, but
yeah.
You know, the way this all started out was, you know, Empire was a band that allowed me to express the extremes of my personality that I think was very vital for me to get to explore, you know, and I needed it at that point in my life. And towards the end of that, when things were becoming evident, because I mean, you can only kid yourself so long, you know, were becoming evident that, you know, this may not be the end-all be-all, you know, of my experience. And, you know, I haven't got to express so much of these songs that I've been writing behind the scenes, you know, for years. I mean, some of these songs I've had for 4 or 5 years, these ideas, and just never had the band to release them in. And so when I met Peter, you know, that was kind of something we talked about, you know, and it was just as a friend to a friend, a musician as a musician, somebody that I knew could understand that. And, you know, I was like, I've got these songs that I think are great, you know, that I think in a lot of ways could be my best songs because, you know, anybody from 6 to 60 can listen to them, you know, and you can all share them, and it's not pigeonholed to a genre that's, you know, just sucked into a funnel, you know, this big, you know, it's this brighter, bigger world. And you know, he was like, let's get together, you know, let's see what we can do with these, you know, let me help you, you know, grow these songs. Because I mean, I can sit down and put together a chord progression and write a melody and some words over it, but I'm not a guitar player, you know. I mean, he can make things happen on the guitar that make things happen in your heart, you know, and that's, you know, what I try to do vocally. So we got together, and, you know, around that time I was just meeting Tom, which I didn't realize that I'd probably basically known Tom for a few years, you know. I mean, we were, you know, a half a degree of separation apart, you know, from different acquaintances.
Mutual friend.
And everything else. And then we met, and we were just like, kind of like soul brothers a little bit, you know, and it just all made sense. We're like, come in here, you know, bang on these drums, and, you know, let's put some of these ideas together. And I remember we got together, and I think I was playing Refuse, you know, or something,
right.
Which I had a non-guitar player's way of playing this picking riff that drove Peter crazy. He was like, I don't even know what you're doing, and it was almost like 2 time signatures crammed into one, you know. It only made sense to me, but. So we were fiddling with that for a while, and I think we took a bathroom break, and I sat down and started playing my Little Wings thing. It was literally you know, the first little turnaround of Wings was all I had, but I was just stuck on that for years, you know. Anytime I was just sitting around the bus or sitting around the house, I would just pick it up and just kind of play on that and hum on the melody and stuff. And I started playing it, and Peter's like, oh, wait a minute, you know, like, play that again. And then he was like, well, double that, play this, double that, you know. And we started working on it, and it was just like, oh, we have a song. And then you see Peter get excited, and I love it because, you know, he's very deep. So when you see him you see that shell kind of crack a little bit, he gets excited. And then you start following him, you know. You're like, all right, cool, you know. It's like a bloodhound when you're hunting down the convict in the woods, you know, and you let him sniff his clothes.
And he's got that.
And he gets the scent, he starts taking. So, you know, something started happening, and that's, you know, he jumps into the control room, and we start demoing this song out. And, you know, I really think that was the song that sparked it, that said, you know, we could create a sound here, and we could put together a record here that would be a band. And I think at that point, I think Peter was like, you know, this is my band too.
Right.
You know, like, you know, I'm not just coming in to help produce this and kind of work through these songs with you. You know, we've got a band, you know, the universe brought us together.
You knew it at that point. It was like, once that song was being tracked and being written, you knew this was the start of something special. And for me, it was a great experience just to be able to have that experience of knowing this is the beginning. Of something unique and something really special.
And you felt it, and we thought it would happen a lot quicker. But, you know, it took us a year there, you know.
In due time.
Put it all together, in due time. But it was crazy. From there, you know, then, you know, Peter started sending me ideas that he had for a couple of years. And that's where, you know, Gotta Believe, he sent me the music track to Gotta Believe, which was basically, you know, all produced out, you know, because he had done it 2 or 3 years before. And I just heard it, you know, just heard the song. It was just the next song after the next song after the next song. I mean, you know, it wasn't like we did 40 songs and threw out, you know, 30 of them. I mean, we did the 10 songs that went on the record, and we feel like they're incredible, you know. So it was crazy. It was completely unorthodox, but at the same sense, it was almost magical. And it was like some black magic for him, though. It was, well, I'm telling you, it was tough in the studio because, like I said, these were ideas were already kind of built. So rather than us building these ideas around the rhythm and all this stuff, you know, Tom really had to kind of find the rhythm, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely different, but it was great. And how I look at it too, and we've talked about this, is given the fact that we did this record in such a short period of time. I mean, we had 2 weeks to record and track this record, which, I mean, that's shotgun recording for you there. I had 1 week for the drums, so at the end of the day, you know, the fact that we did basically a song a day,
that's
a little bit more.
That's vocals and everything. Usually you'll spend 2 weeks just on the guitars. You know?
Right, exactly.
Two guitar players, 1 week. You know.
And the record came out great. So the promising thing is knowing that in the future for our second, our third, and our fourth records, that we're going to be able to have that time beforehand
to write the songs.
To write the songs and prepare them and go into the studio and knock them out. And there'll be that, you know.
Yeah, and the fact that we know what we sound like now.
So, yeah.
You know,
we have a sound.
When you're creating a band, it's, you know, you're finding your sound. So that's a beautiful thing. We're excited about that. And I mean, that kind of leads us into our next question that we picked up from Matt Phillips.
Matt Phillips.
Matt Phillips. He's you know, he's kind of asking about the latest material. You
What's
know,
up, Matt?
What's your inspiration for the latest material? And I guess, you know, that could probably fall under this record as well, even though we about halfway into the second record already, and I'm just diving into Peter's ideas now, so he has an endless catalog. But you know, this first record, it was personal stories for me, some closer issues. I think I use a lot of songs, a lot of music, and especially with these songs, because like I said, I'm able to get a little more personal with these because I don't want to say it's my music. That sounds stupid or weird, but you know, it's kind of starting from that point, and so there's some personal stories in there, you know, and there's just some stories of just issues, you know, it's like kind of soapbox issues. Like Gotta Believe to me was one of those where, you know, watching all these natural disasters and tornadoes especially, you know, we were touring through Joplin, Missouri, and touring through all these areas in Empire, you know, shortly after those tornadoes went through, and the level of devastation and how long it takes to come back from something like that is it's unthinkable. I don't think you can even really comprehend it until, you know, you get up that morning and you're standing on a empty slab with just your house strewn across 20 acres, you know, and the kind of mindset and the strength that it must take to stand over that and look at it as an opportunity to a new life, you know, to look at that as an opportunity to start over and finding the silver lining in that, I just thought was a beautiful image and a beautiful story to kind of to tell through our music, and one that you know, had impacted me. It was something that I'd taken with me after traveling through those areas, and I wanted to get that out, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of send those out to the folks, and you know, Wings, you know, just that story of love and surrendering and understanding that you know, those that truly love you, you know, they really save your soul, you know.
Yeah, I think all the songs on the record can relate, I think, to every single one of us in one way or another.
Yeah.
You can have some kind of personal experience to where, you know, a song like Gotta Believe is going to relate to you, or a song like Feel Your Love, or, you know, Wait. I mean, when you hear these songs, our whole purpose of making music is to make you feel something. And I think that every single one of these songs did that.
Yeah.
And that comes from the inspiration that, you know, obviously Donald had in writing them. And moving forward as a band on our next records and stuff, I think we're going to obviously carry on that process.
And our spiritual journey. I mean, our spiritual journey was a huge part of the songs.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that's a big part of Peter's life and Stu's life and Tom's life and Jimmy's life and that constant search inward to try to better ourselves and to answer some of these questions. And you know, that's a huge part of it. I know with some of the material, which we just recorded a song today called Heal, which is some of the material that I'm trying to put together for the next record. You know, a lot of those songs, you know, a lot of the songs, and now it's just, I'm looking at the world around me, and I know it sounds cliche and, you know, probably belongs at Woodstock or whatever, but I believe in the power of music, and I'm going to believe it till the day I die, and I don't care if people laugh at me, you know, and I feel that songs during these times should be written to, you know, heal these wounds and bridge these gaps and open these conversations and communicate positive energy, you know. And the crazy thing about a song is that you can focus on a negative topic and it come through in a positive way through a song. You know, it's almost like a cleansing.
Right.
You know, and I thought I Empire did a great job with that. You know, I could get into some dark topics and it felt like by the end of it, you know, we had exorcised the demons. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like this was therapy. You know, we had to go there. We had to purge that from our system to heal ourselves. And I'm focusing on that big time. You know, on this next record, it's just one of the newest tracks I'm working on with Peter is called "When This War Is Over," and it's like there's no, you know, qualms about what this is all about, and it's just kind of realizing that, you know, for one, it can be over as soon as we want it to be. You know, if we focus on the love in our hearts, there's no reason why any man should carry a weapon in a battle. You know, there's no reason why any man should push a button on a drone. You know, just get up and walk away and go home to your family and hold them and love them and focus on them and take care of your community. You know, and you know, we're going to try to write songs that inspire people to do that. You know, and inspire ourselves to do that most importantly, because I tell you what, we're our biggest supporters in our life. Each one of us these last 2 years have been going through, yeah, I'll be honest, this is probably 2 of the hardest years I've ever experienced in my life. It's been hard on my family. It's been a scarred, you know, definitely a healing from the throat to the heart, you know. And without these guys, without this music, without this band, and without you guys there, you know, even caring about us enough to stick around this long, you know, and to still care so much, it's incredible, you know, and it's you know, it's going to be in there, it's going to be in those songs too. Right. You know, I can guarantee you, just even going through that right now, just put it in my mental memory. You know, some of these next songs are going to be for you guys. I promise you that, and I'm not gonna hide it. You're gonna know it. So that's a good question. I appreciate that question, Matt. I think as an artist, it always feels good when you can actually kind of talk and express what these songs mean. You don't get to say that through the music.
Right.
Let's see, I think we've covered pretty much everybody's questions, you know, the main ones from today. There were a couple of questions that were directed specifically towards Peter, and I kind of want to, you know, these guys are going to be coming in to my place, you know, every few days, and 1 or 2 or 3 or, you know, however many of them, so we'll all be kind of putting some stuff together. So we'll keep those in mind, and then we'll address those in future videos. But I know Scott did ask, he was like, what are bands are y'all listening to right now? It's kind of a cool, easy question. What do you listen to right now?
Right now, well, I love that new Seven Dust that came out. I'm a big Joe Bonamassa fan.
Joe Bonamassa.
So contemporary blues rock, big into that. I'm excited for the new Deftones album that's coming out.
I introduced him to Florence and the Machine.
Florence and the Machine, yeah.
Which, you know, is pretty awesome for him. You know, he's a metal fan and stuff like that. And drums in those bands are a little different, you know. And so we're always trying to inspire. You know, listen to this band has, you know, a really cool sound and it kind of has that vibe, you know. But
you definitely opened me up to Florence and the Machine.
Yeah, I know me. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I've lived in the rock and metal world so long that I am digging deep into the pop world right now. As like study, you know, I like to listen to these songs and study these hooks, because there is an art to songwriting that in the pop world it's brilliant. It's awesome, and if you can find a way to incorporate some of that, you know, it just takes your game up to the next level. You know what I mean? So The Weeknd, I love The Weeknd right now. I mean, he's blowing my mind. I love it. He's kind of cracked the code on his stuff. I love the new Imagine Dragons song, Roots, is really cool. And you know, there's God, I have to pull up my iTunes just to really get it. Oh, 21 Pilots has this song called Stressed Out. I've kind of gotten some more of their other music, but it's really, really cool. I'm gonna have to show you that one. It's really cool. You might have heard it, but you know, Adele is
amazing.
Her voice is, I don't know, it definitely is humbling for me.
It's one of my
favorites, because
absolutely.
You hear that, you just realize, listen, don't be the best. Don't sit here and grow this ego to try to be the greatest in the world. There's so many great artists out there. Just be yourself and just enjoy it, because Adele's gonna kick your ass every time, I promise. But and props to Coldplay on Coldplay's new songs. You know, I could tell that they went into this realm of enlightenment. Like, they had an awakening. You know, and I know he's always been there.
Right.
But they've really focused on I think the whole concept of this album is, you know, within that Buddhism realm. You know, it's pretty cool stuff. They're gonna be at the Super Bowl halftime. I think it's gonna be pretty amazing. So. Keep an eye out for that, but that's kind of my pop world stuff. You know, here recently, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I never liked Fall Out Boy. I never liked them earlier on, and you know, it's a little tough. His voice does. It's one of those you got to, you know, hate it or love it.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste.
But
sure.
the level of creativity to create their songs is pretty extraordinary. They're very, very talented. So some of their new songs I like to listen to just because it inspires me to kind of go outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, I like the old school hip hop too. I'm big into that.
I love
like a little Big L.
I love it. I love it.
Under the Stairs. A little
oh man,
you know, Alchemist.
I don't even know where you're at.
Alcoholics.
Where are you?
Is this Wu-Tang Clan?
Is this South Beach? Is this what?
Just saying.
I know the Wu-Tang Clan. Every once in a while, when Biggie Smalls comes on the radio,
you gotta love it.
I'm blasting past, or a little Bone Thug and Harmony or something.
You gotta love it.
I grew up in Texas, so I was listening to, you know, the mainstream, you know, white boy rap. That's for sure.
There you go.
But you know.